Hello. Welcome to TRG Central. Tonight we'll be running episode 10 of the 2025 Road to the Triple Crown. In this episode, we'll be covering races from week 27. There were no major races in week 26, so we'll go on to week 27. Week 27 has a lot of lower level races, and we have the Indiana Derby, the Indiana Oaks, the Iowa Derby, and then also a couple Grade 1 races, the Belmont Derby Invitational and the Belmont Oaks Invitational races. So all five of those races will be on our race card for week 27. We also had on the road to the Triple Crown for week 27 the Dyer Stakes. That's DWYER. And as far as I know, that race has not been run yet. And we'll just wait to see when it's scheduled on the real life races. And then we'll, of course, add it to our race card at the time that it does get run in real life. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to week 27's races. I imagine the first thing we ought to do is take a look at our top 10, which is actually about a top 20 or 25 here. We'll do that first. And then we'll take a look at the five races that will be run this week. Okay, see it says the bull has the most victory points, 450. That's with Cold Battle and so forth. And this is our top 20. Okay, and then we'll switch over to the fillies. And as we had mentioned before, at the end of the season, we will have a couple TRG Breeders' Cup style races, one for the Colts and one for the fillies. Okay, here's our list of the fillies. The Cara is first with 497, victory point, 5G, good humor, and so forth. And there's the top 20. We'll probably take about somewhere around 8 fillies and 8 colts for those two TRG Breeder Cup style races. Okay, let's go ahead over to the schedule. And we'll run go to the Triple Crown. As you see, we're at week 27. If you want to look back on week 26, you'll see that it was a skip week. There were no races on the schedule. Okay, so as I had mentioned, there's the Dwyer Stakes. We don't have a field for it. So if it does come up in real life and they do actually run it sometime later, maybe in July or early August, we'll reschedule it on the schedule, then run it at that time. So, as you see, the Indiana will lock these fields in, so we'll take a quick look at each one before we start the races. So we have the Indiana Derby at the $300,000 race in Grade 3. Okay, we have 9 horses entered this race. You can see them right here. Now there's one horse that's kind of interesting, and I'm not sure how I want to really handle this week, but there's this horse called Victrows. Now, the interesting thing about Victrows is that he also entered in the Iowa Derby. Yes, there he is right there with the same jockey. Now, a lot of stable owners pre-enter their horses in similar races within a week or two apart, because then when it gets close to having to decide if they're going to race or not, we'll pull the horse out of a race or scratch them. And so for that horse, he did not run in one of these races, the Indiana Derby or Iowa Derby. I should also mention that normally we have the original fields in each of the races if we're doing a preview race. If we're doing a race that has already occurred, a lot of times I'll go ahead and change the field to take care of any slouches. I think in this case we're going to let him run in both, because I do not think that he's been in any of our races so far, and it'd be interesting to see how he does in both the races. And you see, Indiana Derby is a grade 3, while the Iowa Derby is only listed, which is a slightly lower class level race than the Indiana Derby is. And you can see the purse is a little less, and also the KD victory points is also a little less than the Indiana Derby. So let's go and take a look at the Indiana Oaks, also running the Horseshoe along with the Indiana Derby. And there's some fillies that will be running in that race. There's 6 in this one. And you can see the Indiana Oaks is a grade 3 with $200,000. And the same victory point allotment as the Indiana Derby. And then the last 2 races on the card is the Belmont Derby Invitation, and that's for the 3-year-old colts. And this is run on turf. And the reason why we put it in is because it is a grade 1 and it's a $750,000 race. And there's also a corresponding Belmont Oaks for the fillies, also grade 1. Purse is just a little less than $500,000. So let's take a look at the Belmont Derby Invitation. And there's maybe only a couple horses that we've seen on the dirt tracks so far this season. No Final Gambit was one, and maybe Luther was another. But when we get to the race, we'll go ahead and look at the past performances and see if any of these horses have run previously in the road to the Triple Crown schedule. And then we take a quick look here at the Belmont Oaks. Again, it's a grade 1. And Nitrogen might be the only, or maybe Total Justified, but Nitrogen might be the only filly here that we've seen race before. So, let's see, we have all the races locked that we're running. This is going to be skipped, so we can just do that. And we can run the next scheduled race, which will be the Indiana Derby. So we're heading over to the Horseshoe and run the Indiana Derby. Okay, here's so far the morning line for the Derby. Publisher and Coal Valley. You saw Coal Valley. Coal Valley was like rated third in the road to the Triple Crown Breeders' Cup style races later this year. You can see there's a few horses that seem to be out before they get started. So let's take a look at the past performances. And you can see quite a few of the horses have run already this year in our road to the Triple Crown. See, Publishers has not had a good time. 4 starts, all 4 out of the money. He just won 7,000. When you go to Cole Ballard, he's won over 2 million in 9 starts. 3 firsts and 4 seconds. Wins and place. Show and out of the money. Yeah, to 109 is his rating. There's Chunk of Gold, won over $1 million in 8 starts. And there's our Big Trues. He did run in the Woody Stevens 6th race and was out of the money. So he'll have 2 more chances. Remember, he's to enter in the Iowa Derby. There's instant replay. Has run a couple races. $60,000 allowance win. Master Control 1. Shane is won 55,000. No wins yet. Here's the allowance race for Tip Top Thomas. Didn't do too well. Came in 6th. Ronald Kenny has not raced yet. So he's the only one in this race that has not competed in our road to the Triple Crown schedule. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this race over at the Horseshoe. And here we are at the Horseshoe here at Indianapolis. The horses are all lined up. You quickly take a look. There's Publisher, Master Controller, Coal Battle, Shane, Chunk of Gold, Tip Top Thomas, Big Trues, Brother Kenny, and Instant Replay, along with their jockeys. Okay, let's take a look at Stewie's Tower and see if everything's all set. Stewie's Tower's giving us the okay, and they're off. And 2's out of the game first, Master Controller. This is a 8.5 furlongs, which means the first game turn is just half a furlong, so you don't get the normal movement, you get half movement. So as we go into the back straight already, we have Master Controller with the lead with Publisher and Coal Ballows right behind, and it looks like a nice 4 for setup. And 3 is just past. That's Coal Ballow. He's now taking the lead. He's given a little distance as we go around the clubhouse turn. Not a whole lot. One just right behind them. As we go into the home stretch, and we have 1, 2, 3 there. 3, 1, 2. Yeah, we have one more, and one is just past Coal Battle. That's Publisher. And Coal Battle looks like he passed Publisher at the finish line and is gonna win the race. Okay, Coal Battle wins. He picks up $180,000 plus 50 victory points at his pursuit to get into the Breeders' Cup Finals. And there you have it, the top 3: Publisher, Big Trues, Chunk of Gold, Master Controller, and Brother Kenny is first time out didn't do too well, ended up in 8th. Okay, that's it from the horseshoe for the Indiana Derby. Let's head over to race 2. Race 2 is the Belmont Derby Invitation, being run at Saratoga Turf. Normally this would be run at Belmont Turf Track, but they're still renovating, so they moved the race to Saratoga. So let's go ahead and head over to Saratoga, take a look at the morning line, and here's the incidentals for the race. 9 furlongs, grade 1, 100 Kentucky Derby victory points on the line, and a $750,000 turf. Okay, here's the 8 horses entered. Looks like it'd be a pretty good race. It doesn't seem to be anybody really out of the line other than Luther. But the test score looks to be the favorite here at Saratoga. Take a look at their past performances, and as I had noted before, there's only 2 horses that have competed on our schedule, and that's Final Gambit, picking up over $700,000, and Flying Mohawk, not much. He was just entering the Jeff Ruby heat race and the finals there. All the rest of the horses, this will be their. Well, no, we have test scores and allowance rates managed to not finish in the money, but did pick up $9,000 in purse money. Let's go ahead and yes, we head over to the racetrack here at Saratoga. Okay, it's a 9 furlong race, and take a look at the entrance again one more time. Tank, early adapter, Luthor, New Century, Test Store, Final Gamut, World Beater, and Fly Mohawk. Okay, let's check in with Stewart's Tower. Everything looks fine. And we're off. And test score gets out of the gate first. Here we go. We're heading into the first turn, and we have test score with a commanding lead already. Tank is trying to make up some ground here in the back straight, but everybody else is all bunched up for second. They're now starting to thin out a little, but it looks like it's going to be test score all the way around. He got out of the gate first, and doesn't look like anyone is going to catch him here in the home straight. And that's it. It's test score with the win, and it was an easy win for test score. Final Gamut and World Beater were approximately 10 lengths behind. Okay, so test score picked up a nifty $450,000 of that $750,000 purse. Okay, that's it here from Saratoga. Let's go on to the next race, which is... Okay, we shipped the tower, so it should go right to Iowa Derby over at Prairie Meadows. And it does, and it's a listed race. 20 victory points for the winner. We're at Prairie Meadows Dirt, but it's Looks like it's been raining a little bit there at Prairie Meadows, and the track condition is good. First 250,000. We head over there, and here's our morning line, and looks like we have the top four post pitches 1 through 4 being the favorites with magnitude the best, and then the last three all about the same with the 40-1 payoffs. Let's go to past performances. And we find that Mick Swagger, Mr. Omaha, and Mamarama are the first times out. Those are the ones that were pay up for $40+ to 1. The other four horses are colts. Authentic Group has won 100,000. So It's My Birthday. 90,000 for Magnitude. And Big Trues, of course, we just saw them in the Indiana Derby. And finishing third there. So Big Trues is our horse that managed to run in 2 races on 2 separate tracks on the same day. Okay. Anything else we can look at here? No, everything else looks pretty good. Very surprising that out of the 4 that have run races, only Magnitude has won a race, and it looks like he won the heat race in the Risen Star. But nobody else has won a race yet, which is kind of interesting. Alright, so I think we're ready to go over to Prairie Meadows. And we'll take a quick look at the field again. Authentic Group, Big Trues, It's My Birthday, Magnitude, Mick Swagger, Alvarama, and Mr. Omaha. And you saw the jockeys that are going to ride the horses too. So let's check the Stewart Tower. Looks like everything's a go. And it's my birthday, on the 1st. Remember, this is an 8.5 furlongs, which means the first game turn is just half a turn. So we're heading into the back straight. We already have Big Cruise and Magnitude. And also, it's my birthday. And going into the home stretch, it looks like it's Big Cruise with the lead. And it's my birthday, then Authentic Group. And it looks like Big Cruise is going to win this one. After a good performance at the Indiana Derby, comes to Prairie Meadows and wins the Iowa Derby. Race. There's Big Cruise for you. It's my birthday, Authentic Group third, and Magnitude, Mr. Omaha, McSwagger, and Mavarama last. Okay, Big Cruise picked up $150,000, and he picked up 20 victory points. Okay, so that's it from Prairie Meadows. Let's head over to, let's see, it's a horseshoe for the Indiana Oaks. The 2 filly races are the last 2 races on the race card, so let's go ahead and get the Indiana Oaks started. It's mile to 16, 8.5 furlong, grade 3. Katie victory points to the winner's 50 and a $200,000 purse in the dirt in fast track. This looks like could be a very interesting race. You can probably wager on most any of them and be able to have a good chance of picking up the money. Let's go to the past performances. And as we had mentioned before, we didn't think too many horses were fillies have raced yet this year on our schedule. And we were right. Theolonia is the only one that raced twice, came in third once, and then out of the money, and has won only $33,000 so far this year. Of course, the other horses have probably raced outside of the schedule, and horses probably at their local racetracks that we really don't track. We're just tracking the horses and fillies that run on the 2025 road to the Triple Crown. So let's go ahead and head over to the horseshoe and get this race started. Horseshoe again, six horses to enter, then the Indiana Oaks, Sergeant Moon, Quick, DeLorean, Top, Heavenly Sunset, and Golden Eye Magic. Okay, let's check the sewage tower. They say horses look good in the starting gate, and they're off. And Heavenly Gate's out of the gate first. Again, remember this is a 8.5 furlongs, and the first game turn is just half a game turn. So we come out of the first set of turns into the back straight. We have Top with the lead, and actually has gotten himself or herself a very good. Whoa, Two is nearly cut the lead in half. We're in the home stretch, but it looks like Top is recovered and is going to win the race with Click Quote second. And there's our filly, Top first, Click Quote second, Golden Eye Magic third, and Surgeon Moon fourth. So Top collected trotted away with 120,050 points for a victory point. And then the only horse that, filly run previously on our schedule, the Laurie, did not finish well, 17 lengths behind the winner. Okay, so I think we just have the one race left. That's the Belmont Oaks Invitational over at Saratoga. Again, this is going to be a 9 furlong race. Grade 1. Victory points up for grabs, 100 for first place, and the purse is $500,000. Running at Saratoga turf on a firm course. Okay, the morning line has Bologna, Beyond, and Nitrogen. The other ones, it'd be surprising if any of them come in first, although one of these is going to have to come in third. Let's go with the past performances. And only Nitrogen is run a race. And the Edgewood Stakes, and she finished sixth and didn't win any money. So looks like, for the most part, this is a race for all new fillies. Let's go ahead over to Saratoga. get this race started. 9 furlong race. Got warming, uplet, restraint, totally justified, virgin colada, Bona, Mayday ready, and nitrogen. And remember that this is on turf. That's the reason why most of these fillies have not raced on our season schedule, because season schedule is mostly based on dirt races. And again, the reason why we're running this turf race now is because it's a grade 1 race and does have a little bit of money on the line on the first. So let's go to the Stewart Tower. We'll take a quick look here and see if the tower gives us the okay. They do. And warming's out of the gate first. This is 9 furlongs, so this is a true first game turn with a normal movement. And you see that, like we had mentioned in the early odds, we have quite a few. These fillies can probably compete. And we're in the back straight, but 7, who's 7? Nitrogen has the lead, and for the first time, we have an auto jockey that has run into some problems. That's 3, has 4 left. Could have went outside, but he didn't for some reason, so switch to manual mode to undo. Has 14 points, so let's just have her go straight until here. And sideways, you only have 1, but that still should have been enough to let her do her thing. And then move her there. That puts her right now tentatively in second place behind Nitrogen. And 3 is totally justified. So let's go ahead and resume the race. And we head into the back straight. The back turn with still Nitrogen first. We got Virgin Colada second. We head into the home stretch. It looks like it's going to be Nitrogen, short of a failure. No! Look at 4. Virgin Colada has caught Nitrogen, and it's now going to be a photo finish. So let's see the results. And it's Nitrogen ahead over Virgin Colada. Nitrogen trots away with $300,000. Virgin Colada, $110,000. And Nitrogen picks up a cool 100 victory points. Okay, so that's it from Saratoga for the Belmont Oaks Invitational. And that's it for week 27. Okay, so just to give you a little heads up on episode 11, we'll run these 2 allowance races here. We'll even add the fields to some of the horses and fillies that have not raced much. And then week 29 will be a big race with the Haskell Stakes, $1 million race, and the Coaching Club American Oaks for the fillies, $500,000. So we'll be running those 2 races, 2 allowance races, along with the Haskell Stakes and the Coaching Club American Oaks in our next broadcast for episode 11. So let's go and take a look at our leaderboard. Take a look at the fillies. I don't think any of the fillies are going to come into play here. The top fillies are still the same as they were. Although Nitchin picked up 100, there's Nitchin 11. Nitchin needs to move up at about 8, which is finally 130. So Nitchin gets in a few more races, does well compared to the other one. Nitchin may actually slip in to the TRG BC finals race later this year. Okay, let's take a look at the males. And these are the colts and fillings that are 3-year-olds. See if we have any change. We did have that winner by cold battle, but it's not get him any higher. We just gave him probably a little more space between him and Rodriguez at fourth. Cold battle won 4 races this year and placed in 4. Not bad out of 10. And I don't see any other horses that ran. Oh, test score. There's 100 points for test score. He's the one that won the turf race. And Chunk of Gold and Final Gamut were both in one of the races too this week. Okay, well, I think that's going to be it here from TRG Central. This is Gary signing off for the evening, and good night, everyone.